Sherri's cooking up something delicious. I don't even know what it is yet.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Take it away, both of you.
Are we going right into it?
Yes, you're going right into it.
Okay. Hi, Sherri.
Hey, what's up, Paige? Hi, everybody.
Let me go to speaker view. Oh, there we are.
Okay, let me go there too. Hold on.
Okay, so we can kind of see
also. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect.
Hey,
All right.
Sherri, the only thing is,
Yeah.
I think it might be good if you raise up a little, only because it's cutting your head off.
I know. I need
That's
to.
good. That's good.
Okay, cool.
Oh, my phone's
Search the web for Siri, I think
Hi.
it might be out of the pool.
what? Siri's talking to me. Are we ready? Should we get started, everybody?
Let's get
Yes.
started. Let's get started.
We're
I
plant-based
just want-
birds.
One quick question, Paige. Is there a third person to be spotlighted or a third camera to be spotlighted?
We're not going to do that today, after all.
Okay. All right. Okay, take it away.
Welcome, everyone. We're plant-based in the burbs, and I'm Paige.
Hi, and I'm Sherri. How you guys doing?
Today, we are going to be talking about composting.
Oh, nice. And
I
I'm
know.
gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make something delicious, inexpensive, like we want to say cost effective, but packed with nutrients. So, shall we go right into it?
Let's go. We're going to go.
Okay.
Take it away.
All right. So look, I am a social media junkie, and I love to scour social media for plant-based recipes. I found this one, and let me tell you, it's a keeper in our house. So if you have a Trader Joe's near you, you want to go get their Greek chickpeas, okay? Already seasoned, you don't have to do anything. Really inexpensive. I think it's like $2.99. And then we're going to add some doma. And if any of you don't know what doma is, it's basically grape leaves wrapped with goodies inside. This one has rice, okay? So we're going to put all that together and we're going to make something really delicious. So I will lower my camera so you can see. This is what the chickpeas look like. So it's already seasoned. Don't have to really do anything to it. I'm just going to dump it in the bowl. And once I get in the bowl, I'll show you what we got going on. Let me tell you about these domas, though. This is something that I want to eat right out of the can. As soon as I open it up, I want to put them in my mouth because they are so delicious. So let me show you what a doma looks like. If you're not familiar, it's a grape leaf, okay, wrapped with some good rice inside. So we're going to dump like 2 or 3 or 4 in these because I really like them. And I'm thinking here, I think I forgot a couple of things in my refrigerator to get out. So let me just kind of show you what we got right now. So here's our chickpeas and the doma. Get your potato masher. And we're just going to go ahead and mash them up.
Now, if y'all don't know this already, we're plant-based in the burbs. So those of you that just came on or just watching it, just dropped in, we have 8 cooking shows on Unchained TV with James Mitchell's Unchained TV, the streaming network. So this is a unique new recipe that Sherri's launching right now, y'all. I don't even know this one. I am so excited to see what's going on here. So,
all right, so let me kind of show you because I couldn't figure out how to do the camera view. So let me just show you what we have right now. So I'm just mashing these up really, really good. You know, we want to incorporate the doma and we want to break down the chickpeas, right? So similar to what you would do if you were making tuna, mock tuna, or just any type of salad using chickpeas. We know they're high in fiber and high in protein. So, you know, it's a win-win with this. So we're going to go ahead and add that. Now, this is the best part. You're going to add the feta cheese. And I am crazy about this stuff. You can get this at Trader Joe's or I think this is a Trader Joe's brand. So if you have that in your neighborhood, you just go there. We're just going to take some out. Vegan, of course. Girl, we don't mess around with no animals. Come on. Okay. Only to save them, not to eat them. All right. So.
All right. Listen, I got to tell you, the background right now is college vibe. The neighbors at my daughter's house are having a party. So if you see me moving, they're having a gathering. So there you go.
All right. So what I'm going to do with the feta cheese, just going to cut a chunk out. And, you know, it comes in a brine. I can't show you because I want to spill it on my computer, but it does come in a brine. I just use my hands, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very easy recipe. We're just gonna crumble them up and put them in there, and I'll show you what it looks like. And after I do this, it's basically done, right? So let me just
Plant-based in the burbs, plant-based in the
wipe this off.
burbs, plant-based in the burbs. It was a request. Let's go, everybody. Plant-based
Plant-based in the birds, plant-based in the birds. Boom, boom, boom.
in
In the
burbs.
burbs, plant-based in the burb.
Jane!
I had to make sure I had any, what does Jane call it, Paige, when we're cooking?
Schmutz.
I have to make sure I don't have no smuts over here because I don't want to get in trouble with that. All right, so let me show you what we got. I'm just going to kind of take it all off my potato masher. We're going to sit that over to the side. And this is basically what it looks like. Super easy. 3 ingredients. The chickpeas, Greek chickpeas. We have the doma. Everything is already seasoned. I don't need to add any more flavor because it's full of flavor. And so what I decided to do today is I went to a store and got vegan croissants. Okay, so we're going to make a croissant sandwich. Yeah, I know, Jane. I know you want one of these sandwiches. I do. I know you do. But you have the option. You can use the sourdough or whatever type of bread you like. You can melt cheese on top. I chose not to do that today because I just didn't want to move all the way around. But I do love Life. I like their smoked Gouda, which is really good on here. But I did buy some nice greens to put on it. So I'm excited about that. Oh, yeah. Excited about that. So we got a plate. I'm just going to open it up. I am a mustard junkie. So let me get my mustard. And I'm going to drop this down just a little bit. Maybe you can see some of that. So we're going to add some mustard.
Sherri, while you're adding mustard, I just want to give a shout out to Plant-Based Treaty has these incredible vegan starter guides, which you can access. There's also other organizations like PETA has some too. There's also Challenge 22. Like for anyone who has a friend or you're on here and you're in the transition of, learning more about how to get more plants on your plate, these guides are incredible. There's really good recipes in them and options for you to, figure out what you can buy at a store, perhaps. I mean, this is the global vegan conference. So I know you got to just find out what is in your area, but shout out to this vegan starter guide. I bring them everywhere. I leave them at restaurants. I happen to be in San Luis Obispo right now. Brought some up because I plan to leave them around, for those college students. But yeah. Ooh, what you got there, Sherri? What's going on?
Let me just tell you. All right. So look, we went on and we added the chickpea to the sandwich. I put some mustard on it. I'm going to add some avocado. I have some microgreens. So these are broccoli. I think that's broccoli. No, this one's broccoli and one's arugula. We're going to add some tomatoes, right? I think that's all I have to add. Oh, and some lettuce, right?
So Sherri, no mayo? No vegan mayo?
I have it, but I didn't get out the refrigerator.
Oh.
The vegan mayo only goes on my sandwich. It doesn't go into the dish. The dish is made. It's only really 3 ingredients, just snap, crackle, and pop. It's done, right? Especially if you're in a hurry, this is a great dish that you can prepare beforehand. You can even add it for a dinner and make like a melt, sort of like a patty melt, but it's really a chickpea melt. And then we're just going to add all these beautiful greens on top because we want to get all of the beautiful nutrients that we can have on this beautiful sandwich, and we're just going to add some tomatoes. This thing gets pretty big. And if you were to melt some cheese on this baby, come on, bam, bam, bam. Yeah. So that's my sandwich. And what I chose today, let me get rid of all my schmutz. What I chose today to go on the side of my sandwich is some fruit. So I've got some strawberries and berries. I'm just going to put it on the side. You can choose, you can make a potato salad. You can do chips. You can do fries. You can do onion rings, whatever your choice. You can have a big, beautiful salad. It is your choice to do whatever you want. But I'm just telling you, look how quick this meal is. I have it done already. And it's just falling all over the place. It looks delicious. And here we are. We're done. Super quick, super easy. Put some fruit on the side.
You be keeping that right there because I'm going to get a photo. Let me tell you something. There's questions in this chat. We're going to find out. Okay, hold that up for a second. Sherri, that looks so flavorful.
It's so good, you guys. I'm telling you, when I first saw this on Instagram, I thought, oh, this can't be good. I got it. My son is vegan. He's 29, and he's really not into alternative meat. So I said, okay, let me make this. And when I got it, he wanted to eat it up. I'm just telling you, that's how delicious this is. I think it's under $10 to even make maybe 4 sandwiches. So there you go.
So it's affordable, easy. That was so easy breezy. I mean, come on.
I'm going to cut it in half because, I can't just sit here and not let you guys see me take a bite.
For real.
That's not happening.
Here's the thing. We're going to save some questions while Sherri eats because I'm going to jump right into composting, y'all. Here's the thing I wanted to point out. If my daughter and her roommates can compost in their busy schedule, 6 girls in a house in college, all seniors, so can we. First of all, you just want to get yourself something fun. It doesn't have to be sexy. Sherri's is super sexy, but this happens to be my daughter's. And I go, honey, save me the compost because I'm not going to bring my bin up. And so she did, and it's full, and it has onion peels and banana peels and flower stems and such and coffee grounds. If you want, so we're going to get right into it. Here's the thing. We need to pull out our food scraps from the trash. Why? Because it creates methane gas. Is methane gas a good thing? I think we all know it's not a good thing. Imagine a banana peel stuck between a baby diaper and a couch cushion. That's what's going on in the landfill, right? Stinky gases going up into the air. So we're learning to take those food scraps out of the landfill and put them into a closed loop system. What does that look like? That might be complicated. All I'm saying is just get them out of the trash and then we'll figure out from there what to do. So get yourself one of these cute compost bins. Sherri's is sexy, right? You could put it in a jar like this. I did bring this from home so you could see, yeah, Sherri's got some, all the food scraps are going in here. Now, with this, you can put the lid on. This is a freezable jar. Stick it in the freezer until you can take it to the next step. But the first step, what's the first step, everybody? What's the first step? Food scraps out of the trash. Food scraps out of the trash. Let's do this. Okay, kind of sounded like plant-based in the burbs.
We got the same music. That's all. That's all we do. We know.
But I do have a new song. I'm not going to sing it today, but it's to Montel Jordan's "This Is How We Do It." Boom, 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 boom. This is how
we compost.
Take your food scraps out of the trash. Take your food scraps out of the trash. Boom, boom, boom. Food scraps out of the trash. Food scraps out of the trash. This is how we do it. This is how we
compost.
We compost. Okay, you're gonna help me write this. We're gonna write this.
Okay, girl, you need my help. You need my help.
Honestly, that's why we make such a good pair. Because if I was left to my own devices, it would sound like that. All right. So now, the first step, right, is getting the food scraps out of the trash. Now, the other thing, let's say you don't have a jar. Let's say you have a bag, an old bag of something, a bread bag. Put them all in the bread bag. Once you're done with the bread and you've eaten the heel, and you can make croutons out of the heels, by the way. Cut it up, put it in a pan, put it in a toaster oven, make croutons. Don't waste those heels. I'm also really big on no food waste. Everyone knows that about me. I'm always taking everything home, like that. We do that. But anyway, let's put it like this. Now, you have a Ziploc bag. Put all the food scraps in there. That's step 1. Food scraps out of the trash, okay? Into a system, a jar, a container, a baggie. You can put it in the freezer. Next step, where to take them. In the state of California, it's the law. It's the law. Did you hear that? In the state of California, it's the law. Hopefully the law is going to spread. Countries are doing this too, whereby they require, I think New York is this way too, require that you compost. So they provide a system. The next step in California is the green bin. You could just take it out to your green bin like Sherri, right? Do you want to share something about that?
Yeah, so what I do with mine is, since I don't have a compost system in my yard, I go ahead and fill it up. You know, I have some in here. I just dumped it because our trash was just this week. I bought some flowers. I took my flower stems, I stuck them in there. And then when it fills up, I just take it out and dump it in my green. And then they pick it up on Friday. But I'm just gonna tell you, if just to understand this, the gases, when you open up your compost container, you can smell how it's emitting out of your own compost, the gas and the smell. It's something. But I'm happy that I was inspired by my good girlfriend to start doing the compost. It really has made a difference, and everyone knows to put their waste in here, and then we dump it out, you know, so it's been great.
And by the way, if you drink coffee or tea, or you have lemons in your yard or oranges or any kind of citrus, put that in there with it to take away the stench.
Yes.
Because it'll help a lot. Now, some of them, I don't know what happened to her. Well, I guess she has a filter, kind of need to
I
clean
do
it.
too.
But there's a filter in there too that's, but yeah, yours is so pristine. Oh my God, gorgeous. I'm talking college. But listen,
Yeah.
before I leave, I'll be cleaning it up. But that helps also with any fruit flies. Now, let's say you have fruit flies. You shouldn't in your house, if you do the combination of the nitrogen and oxygen and why am I forgetting the other word? The greens, the browns, and the acidics, which is like the coffee grounds or tea, right? You should be able to have layers in there, and it's not going to, but you don't want to leave this out on the counter for very long anyways. You're going to take it out to your green bin or into step 2, right? This one has a lid on it. I'm not going to, I will open it because it might get a little moldy. I'm going to take it to step 2, right? So, but if you do have some fruit flies, you need to add some more browns. So that could be leaves. It could be hair clippings, y'all. That helps. It could be hay. So just so you know, there's different things you could do, but you can also look at this all up online. I don't know. I'm the kind of person though, I like to hear it first, and then I'll go look and do more research and see what I might dryer lint, but some of the dryer lint does have plastics in it. So I try to keep that out of the,
you know what, I don't mean to cut you off though, but you know what I've been doing lately, and I don't know if it's okay. So I'm going to ask you because you are pretty much an expert. I take a sprinkle of baking soda. And I sprinkle a little bit of baking soda because, you know, if you put it in your refrigerator, you know, it takes away the smell in your refrigerator. So inexpensively, you can just sprinkle a little bit of that on the bottom of your compost and then throw everything else in. And that should also help absorb some of the smell as well.
The other thing you could put is a little drop of vanilla. You could also use essential oil. So essential oil comes from a plant. So if you want to put that in there. So those are just some thoughts for the scent. Okay, so step 2, green bin, or maybe there's a sanctuary near you, okay, that you can bring the food scraps to. They might want them, or they have compost. Or in certain cities, like when we were traveling in Europe this summer, I found there were places you could literally drop off your compost, public places. So we don't have to necessarily be the one for step 2, but you need to bring it to step 2. So you might need to physically drive it. There are companies here in the United States that you can they'll come and pick it up. So either the green trash bin, or there's companies that will literally come to your home, and it's a service. So you can do that. The other thing people do, they take it outside away from their immediate surroundings. Maybe they have a yard that they could do this. They dig a hole, bury them. They're organics. They're going to turn into soil eventually. All right. Now go enough below that you don't have critters in there. Or if you have a public place that you can dig and leave, the critters might get in there and have a little snack. That's okay too. So we got to think, close the loop from seed, right? We got some seeds here to soil. This is actual soil from compost. This compost is soil. Okay. So first you obviously plant the seeds. Then we're going to grow our food, right? So either you do or the farmers do. Thank you so much. Yes. And then we're going to take it to the food scrap situation. And then we're going to turn it into soil. And it doesn't necessarily have to be us turning it into soil. I happen to work with children, and this is the soil we created from their seed to soil, essentially. That's what we're bringing it to. So without confusing you, I just want to say step 1, food scraps, out of the trash, right? Out of the trash, out of the landfill, out of a system that is not closing the loop. And you want to think, closing the loop, it's like this. It's the loop of when you grow. This is the first step, right? Boom, seed, soil, seed plant,
Plants.
eat it, leftovers, and moldy or stuff that you're not going to eat, to a system that becomes soil. Now, shout out to my friend Erin Riley, because she has this amazing veganic organic fertilizer. Okay. The only one of its kind that I know of that's on the market. Somebody might be making it out there in a different country, but this is what's happening here in Los Angeles. Compost Me. So this is incredible. And you can get this on a large scale, or you can get it like this. I'm going to put this in my garden with the things that I'm growing, like onions and some kale.
And you know what? I bought it also. I bought it for my house plants. So I have that in a little tube. I have that fertilizer, and I use that because I have a lot of plants in my house, and I never remember when to fertilize them. So I can use it pretty much every time I water, and I can see a difference in how they're thriving. So, it's amazing. I love that product. Thanks. Paige.
So these are the games that we play in our kitchen as plant-based in the burbs. We make
That's
food,
right.
we compost. We put up my little compost sign that my friend made. We had an Earth Day event last week that Sherri spoke at, and had composting going on. I had a huge bag of composting going on. It was great. And we totally saved tons of, well, not tons, but pounds of waste, food waste, and paper things that we put back into a composting system. So here's what I want to do with the time left. I'd love you to show your sandwich again, because
Oh gosh, I just kind of.
gorgeous. Was it gone?
I rushed it. No, it's not gone. But I can show you the half I did not eat on. That would probably be better.
And I want to leave it up to any questions people have about the recipe, cooking, going more vegan, getting more plants on your plate, or composting. But look how pretty that is. Oh my gosh, Sherri.
Yeah.
And if you're wondering how to find us, we're on all the socials. Oops, upside down.
Oh,
And placed in the burbs. And we have cooking show 8 segments on Unchained TV, more to come. We may even have bloopers for you too. How fun and cute is that? And basically we're putting only veganic, organic, not all organic, because it's hard to get all organic everything.
it is.
But basically in mine, in ours is going to be the veganics. People can compost the other things, and you can look that up. Those of you that want to know, feel free. I'm promoting the veganic. So there you go. And I work with a company called Full Circle Compost in Los Angeles. And I'm so blessed and honored to be an educator for Full Circle Compost from K through 12, teaching the next stewards of our land that are already stewards, because they get to, participate in the closed
Saving
loop.
the planet. Yeah.
Saving the planet, working
Saving the
together.
planet. That's what it's about.
So what questions do we have? And anything else you want to add, Sherri? Go for it.
Well, let's see. We made a beautiful sandwich. I do want to share with you guys that I am a fitness trainer, and I do have a brand out. So if anyone is looking for new leggings, please support a small entrepreneur, which is me. I would appreciate it. Everything here is designed and made right here in Los Angeles, California. I am the designer. And so if you need any workout wear, we are all inclusive for every shape woman. And so if you're interested, just go to www.W29 Active Wear and just take a browse. So that's one thing I wanted to show, because if we're taking care of our planet, we need to take care of ourselves.
And before further ado, though, you have to tell everybody, why are you calling it W29 Active Wear?
Okay. So W29 Active Wear, the W is named after my mother, Wanda. She died at the age of 29 from a brain aneurysm. And I was a young girl. So for me to pay homage to her and just keep her memory alive, that's why I chose to name it after her. And it's something that when most people lose a loved one, they have something that they want to keep sentimental of theirs. And I didn't have that option. So this is mine. So this is what W29 represents: empowering women to take control of their lives so that they can share it with others, because it's very important to take care of our own temple as well as we're taking care of the earth. So that's what
Sherri
I
has
said.
this thing that keeps me going. It rings in my head every single day. Just
Yeah.
30 minutes.
Just 30
Yeah.
minutes.
Just 30 minutes. And I remember that at the end of the day when I'm tired, I go, nope, just 30 minutes. Get out there and walk.
You can do
Just
anything.
30 minutes.
30 minutes. Yeah. So, anyway, so thank you for letting me share that. I appreciate that.
Oh, all right. Well, listen, we are open for questions. So please, what are
Yeah.
your questions? Here we are.
First question for you, Paige, is in the compost bin, do you also add paper and other browns?
Great question. Browns, fantastic. Let's say you bring home a meal, you finish it, like it's a take home, and then it's brown, cut it up into smaller chunk pieces. If you have a napkin or paper towel, brown, cut it up. The white ones are all made with dye. So it does it have labels on it that say blah, 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 blah. Ooh, this is another really good point. Peel off your stickers from your, avocado, bananas and so forth. If you do purchase from a regular market versus the farmer's market, if there's a label, just peel off the label as you're going through and composting your food scraps. So yes, browns are fantastic. We need the browns. So we need the leaves and we need the paper comes from the trees and so forth. So we're putting it back into the system.
Yeah, can you tell us what happens with the labels? I mean, what is there in the labels that makes it non-compostable?
Well, the labels are made of plastic.
Okay.
So the plastic would be going into your composting and you don't want to be ingesting the plastic. We don't want to put that into the loop, right? And also when they make a label, it's the glue and also the dyes that go into the label, like the black print or whatever colors that they add to it. That's all. Think about what would I want to be putting back into my body? So that's what you're going to be putting into your compost bin. So if it's nature made, it's going to go in, banana peels, blah, blah, blah. Peels from all kinds of things, right? But not the labels. So peel it off.
Okay. The other question I had was, when we eat, 30% of what we eat goes out as waste from our body. Okay. And then we have scraps, food scraps and stuff. Right? But the waste that goes out of our body, turns out that if we eat animal foods, our waste is highly toxic. And no one wants to compost that. And when you're vegan, your waste can be composted as well and turned into soil. So that's what they do in Southern Forest. And what I found out is that the reason they insist everyone who comes there has to be vegan is that they don't want to add toxins to their soil.
Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a friend who has I've stayed in a place that had a compost toilet, and also I have a friend who has that as well on her property. So yeah, that's great.
This is why the world is going to be vegan. There's no question. You can't even recycle your own waste.
That's something.
For sustainability, right? Yeah.
Right. I was just thinking of Dune, the movie Dune, if anybody saw it, Dune 2. It's interesting because when someone passes, they use their liquids and they recycle it back into the system. So just saying that could be something for the future. So the same thing, just kind of, poop in the loop. So there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Danny wants to know, what were you drinking, Paige?
Oh, my daughter made me a little chai, a little, little cute little thing with some, plant-based milk in there. It's really cute.
Okay.
I got up early today, so
I think she wants to eat whatever you're eating and drink whatever you're drinking.
And then, of course, just a fresh glass of water. Definitely make sure you stay hydrated.
Oh, for sure.
Hydration is key, y'all.
So you said paper, they add dye to make it white?
Yes.
Is that right? I thought they bleached it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Bleached it. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Of course. Well, dyeing and bleaching, I guess, if you think about it, they could be synonymous.
No, bleach means it's taking out the color of the brown color of the paper and turning it white.
Oh, okay. So adding bleach. Okay, gotcha. So, okay.
Yeah.
Because the brown is natural, right?
Yeah, brown is, tree barks are naturally brown. They're not white.
Yeah.
Haven't seen trees that are white.
Now we're talking chemistry. Chemistry. I love it.
I didn't do well in that subject.
I kind of failed my labs on that. So there you
Go ahead, Ray.
Ray.
Hey,
Ray.
Paige, Sherri,
Hi.
great talk, great food. And for the food that doesn't get eaten, we got something to do with it. That's the most responsible. I compost. I've got the city in Toronto gives you a big cylindrical device. I think it's made of PVC. And for composting in your backyard, and it's got a little sliding door in the front so you can cycle it. So you can shovel from the bottom and put on the top, or just the compost that's the richest will be at the bottom. But you mentioned earlier that sometimes the critters get into it, and sometimes neighbors complain about compost and what's a good way to avoid the rats being attracted to your compost. I've got lots of yard waste too, so I know that layering in some of the leaves and yard waste helps to manage that.
Well, I'm not going to give you the answer to that. I'm going to let you look it up, but I will tell you there was a little squirrel that is living in our compost at the school, and he took off when we came. But you're right, because we don't want to cause a nuisance in our neighborhoods. 100% agree with that. So I'm going to say, obviously not a poison to poison the rats. Of course not, because they're part of the ecosystem. So I'm just speaking to others, not you, Ray. So I imagine there's going to be a deterrent. We haven't had that problem here, but like with fruit flies and so forth, I was told just add more of the layers in. So I wonder if layering it more so that they're not attracted, because if you've got the food, that's what they want. They're not going to want the coffee grounds. They're not going to want the hay. So making sure that you're covering, like when it comes to even a smell, right? You need that. And if there's the flies, so you want to have that balance. So I would just say, make sure that every time that you are utilizing the compost, that you are adding those other inputs, the hay or the leaves and the coffee grounds, if you can. You know, there's a lot of coffee houses that will bag up their grounds. So you don't have to be the one drinking coffee if you're not a coffee drinker or a tea drinker. They will do that for you. And if they don't, you can ask them, because they could be part of the loop. They could be part of the closed loop. But that's what I would do, is like you said, Ray, but I would really seriously say just like throw it in. And also you don't want any of like, because our compost has wiring, you know, that comes around at the bottom, so that because you want air, you need to aerate it. And so I make sure the food's not right up a bump up against it. I put the food more in the center, and then we go whoop and whoop, kind of fold it in and all sides. So then it's more, so then they're not like trying to get in, you know, like that. So we get to share the space and figure out how to share the space with those little critters. So thanks. That's a really good question. Thank you.
Yeah, some rats have chewed through the little vent to the side of the thing, and I haven't blocked it up. If they want some, they can have some.
I was going to say, maybe give them some food, other food. Then you're encouraging them. I don't know. Oh yeah, put food farther away.
Right in the corner of somewhere of your yard, so they can just stay in that little space.
Yeah. So we have a composting service. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Ray.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say, we use a composting service in Phoenix. They come and drop off a container every 2 weeks. They pick up the previous container. And along with the container, they give us a bag of wood shavings or sawdust. And so they say, as soon as you put some scraps in there, food scraps in there, just sprinkle it with sawdust. And it actually gets rid of the smell as well. So it doesn't smell much.
Perfect. That's great. And you can make your own sawdust. You can make your own sawdust. You know, that's another thing for Google, but that's easy to do, I think. I mean, it takes time, but if you're getting a drill out, there's sawdust. Sawdust. You know, maybe you have an old table around that it's not chemically treated or something. You got sawdust right there, you know. So, but you can also go by like a place where they sell hay. You can use the hay too. So sawdust and hay are great. Yeah. Good
That
question.
actually fit into the question I was going to ask earlier, because I was going to say that, is there anything you should do to your yard waste to prepare it for composting, mulching up, chopping it up? And I saw somebody gave the advice to put your lawnmower on bricks and put the yard waste under it and chop it up before you put it into the compost. So then it's a little bit got more surface area, and it's more going to break down a lot quicker.
It is. That is true. I mean, we take our shovel and we're like, but it will be, to cut up the pieces, like if there's sticks that we add in there and things, it's like, like I said, but yeah, that's smart. If you have a lawnmower, we don't own one. So yeah, that's great. Any questions about Sherri's recipe or any of the recipes that we have produced and put out on with Plant-Based in the Burbs on Unchained TV?
I'm sorry.
I'm getting hungry. That
I know.
sounds good. Smart. But you've also made chickpeas with some seaweed, right, Sherri?
Yeah, made it like an tuna. So you can just add nori to it, and you have like a tuna sandwich. I mean, there's a lot of things you can be really creative in the kitchen to swap out what you normally would eat when you were consuming animals or meat. And so there's an abundance of plants that we can eat that will give us the same type of flavor and satisfaction just by using plants. You just have to be creative and just have an open mind and be committed.
Ooh, I like that. Wait, say that again.
What?
That was so good. Wait, you said 3 things there. You said
I told you open mind. I said
creative,
I forgot the other one because I'm just committed.
open mind, creative, and committed. I love that, Sherri.
Oh, well, thank you. I didn't think I was doing anything, but okay.
I think Rebecca had her hand up. Rebecca, did you have a question? Come on and join us.
Thank you so much, Paige. That was wonderful. And thank you, Sherri.
You're welcome.
I wonder if you, that is so simple what you did, you put together. And I wonder if you've made some of that cream cheese before or not.
Oh, the feta, I have not made it, but you know what? I have been searching recipes to make my own. I do my own milk now, so I'm really into making my own plant-based milk. And then I looked at the cheese, even sour cream. I mean, not sour cream. Yeah, cream cheese and cheese. So I have looked at recipes. It looks very simple. I just have to be motivated at the time. But I have recipes that I pull up that I want to challenge myself to make. And that way I can really be in control of the food that I consume and not worry about all the extra additives because I know I've done it here at home.
Right. Well, I tell you that
You have a cream sauce. You have a cheese that you make with potatoes and carrots.
Yes.
I've never done that though. That sounds really something.
Yeah, that goes to my mac and cheese. I do that for mac and cheese. I do that, or sometimes I can use cashews. Cashews are really abundant on making cheeses and creams and dressings and tahini. So I mean, and all of those are really beneficial to our health. So that's what I really love about cooking and being plant-based or vegan, however you want to change it, is because it makes you expand your mind to learn how to, like I said, make new things, eat new foods.
What is your husband's favorite?
Hi, Anita, it's Ray. I'm just checking to see if you're ready to go. Your presentation's in 15 minutes.
Okay.
And,
Wait, who are you talking about?
He's talking to Anita.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about okay,
No, not to you.
Oh, wait a minute. Hey, Sherri, here's my question though. Sherri, what is your husband's favorite recipe of what you make at home? And I'll share mine. What's your husband's favorite that you make?
Oh my gosh. You know what? He loves everything I make. I have to tell you that. But he loves when I make the fried oyster mushrooms. He likes that a lot. And I do that it's like a mock chicken, but it really is more mushrooms. He likes to eat that. And we just made a new recipe it came out of the book Forks Over Knives, and it was grits, chopped up with kale and tomatoes and pinto beans laid over the top. It was just really, oh, I couldn't believe how beautiful and delicious it was, and filling. And that was out of forks over knives. So I got a lot of books that I pull out recipes to try to minimize some of the things that I used on a daily.
Love that.
BJ is asking, where can we find your recipes?
On Unchained TV.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can go right now. You can literally type in either one of our names or even Plant-Based in the Burbs in the search engine on the website. If you want to watch the recipes, you're going to watch them on the app, on the streaming network, Unchained TV. And we're going to be adding those recipes in writing on the app. But in the meantime, each of those recipes are on the website. So you could just go to the website, unchainedtv.com, and type in our names, Plant-Based in the Burbs or Paige Parsons, Sherri, and you'll see our recipes. Because Donnie loves my zucchini polenta. Say that
that's my favorite. I like that one too.
That one's pretty good. Now wait, my poke bowl that's inspired by
That's good too.
Charity Morgan, that turned out pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good too, Paige. I do like the polenta lasagna. That snuck up on me. That one was really good. And I also like the tofu salmon I made. I made a tofu salmon. I'm telling you, it's remarkable. When you look at it, you're thinking, oh my God, is that real? But it's nothing but tofu. It's really delicious with some beet juice to kind of give it an added flavor. Put some nori over the top to give it that crispy seafood taste. And it's just tofu. And again, that's cost effective. Tofu costs what, $1, $2, so, you can get at least 2 fillets out of that. So out of one tofu.
The poke bowl I make with tomatoes.
Yeah,
and
that's incredible.
Marinate those tomatoes, y'all. So lots of creative recipes you can find. Plant-Based in the Burbs. Yes. And just so you know, real quick, because we do have a couple seconds here, I'm just going to tell my quick origin story, my vegan origin story. My daughter was 13. She came home. She had been doing some research on food waste and ran into videos about animals and said, I'm vegan. And I said, okay, good for you. And then I brought home stuff that was vegetarian. And then she said, Mom, this has casein or gelatin or cheese. And I said, you got to come shopping with me, like, come on. So we went shopping together and I started learning how to cook. And I realized it wasn't that hard. Then I saw Cowspiracy, which is Cowspiracy, the Sustainability Secret. You haven't seen that movie yet? You absolutely need to see that movie. It's incredible. Incredible film. Dr. Rao was one of the executive producers on that, and that's what changed my life. And that was 9 years ago. Sherri?
I started on a church fast. Had no idea about veganism or anything. Did a fast for 14 days. And I thought, wow, this is incredible. And from there, it just started to grow. And then my son came home, kind of like you, Paige. I never said my youngest son came home and said he was going to be vegan. And I'm like, okay, you mean you're not going to eat any eggs? What are you talking about? And eventually, when I started to do research, and I told my husband, who was very angry about going vegan at first, and then once we got into it, we realized eliminating the eggs, the dairy, and all those added things in our life, we just start to thrive even more energy, more awareness of what's happening on our planet and what's happening to animals. I think that is the way that, really, once you get into this culture or this community, you understand what your part is in it. And, and I think the documentary that really took us over was What the Health, because I'm into fitness and What the Health. And when I started thinking about consuming bacon is like smoking cigarettes, and I'm like, I don't do that stuff. So why would I want to put that in my body? So that's what happened. And now I'm just so happy to be here. I'm happy to contribute in any way I can. I just want to do my part, and every little baby step or every baby thing that you do is a part. It doesn't have to be something huge. To stop eating animals would be a major thing. Huge. One day a week, meatless Monday, meatless Wednesday, don't drink dairy milk, switch to plant-based milk. I mean, it's acquired taste, but hey, we all acquire taste for things that we want to try, right? So that's all I can say. Go vegan.
Go vegan. Just 30 minutes. Plant your seeds if you're up for it. If you need more information, obviously you can just search, but make some kale happen. once you eat, you're going to get some food scraps going and you're going to put them into a system, right? So you're going to take them out of the trash, get them out of the landfill, y'all. And then eventually there will be a closed loop of making soil. Maybe you're not the one, but when you get those food scraps out, you are helping to create a more sustainable planet by a composting system, food scraps out and into a closed loop to make more soil. So we're so happy you joined us today, y'all. Look at that sandwich, Sherri.
Yeah.
Come
I'm
on.
gonna eat this.
You
I
can
can't wait.
You can get these recipes from the Vegan Starter Guide and many recipes. We have ours and shows on Unchained TV. We also do have a YouTube channel if you prefer to go over there. We're loading our recipes up in there and, we're just so grateful. So thanks for watching, everybody. We love
Thank you.
Climate Healers. Thank you.
One more question for you, Sherri. Is
Yes,
what was the fast you went on? Was it a Daniel fast?
it was.
Okay.
It was the Daniel
And you
fast.
can you explain a little bit about the Daniel fast?
The Daniel fast is supposed to be biblical, right?
Mhm.
And it was just fruits and vegetables. And from this Bible, the story is that Daniel decided not to partake in any of the rich foods and that he could sustain himself just on plants alone. And if you see the documentary Chispspiracy, it touches on that about the Daniel fast. And so after that, it really does change the way you think. So that's how we got on it, Dr. Rao.
Mm.
Yeah.
Does he also then go into a den of lions?
He did. He did.
Okay.
He did. I mean, I'm not going to tell the whole story, but yes, he did go into a den of lions and nothing happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're going to be cleaning.
Is going to be shown here tomorrow. And,
Right.
we have
Conspiracy.
ham.
Don't miss that. That's great.
Don't miss that. You definitely want to see that. We got to see that live and in person with a group of people in Los Angeles. It was so inspiring to be with all those people and to see that film. It's really changed my life in a lot of ways. So there you go, everybody. We're here to give you value and we're so grateful you're here and continue
Wonderful.
to join us in the fun that we continue to have.
Yeah, speaking of Chispspiracy, I noticed that Cameron Waters came into the room.
Hi, Cam. How you doing?
Oh, I can.
Cam, come join us. What are you doing?
Yeah, we just talked about your documentary.
Yes.
Are you here for you're going to be talking tomorrow, right, Cam? Nice to connect. Hi.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have too much time after the movie because we have 2 hours for the Chispspiracy. And so I'm thinking that maybe during the open mic, if Cam can come back, we can ask more questions, assuming he can come back.
If you want to come on for a moment, Cam, I do have a question for you. I hope I can join you tomorrow, but only if you want. You may not be camera ready. I don't know. It's kind of on the spot, but my brother watched your film and
Oh yeah, that's a great
lots of
story.
questions. Yeah, there's lots of questions. I invited
There we go.
So I hope he comes.
Where's
Oh, there you go.
Hey. Can you see me?
No.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, I think someone has to highlight you. Let me see.
Oh,
Maybe.
okay.
Oh, there you are.
Hi, sweetie.
Yeah, I thought it was today, so that's why I signed on. But
Oh,
pleasant
really?
surprise.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
pleasant
tomorrow.
surprise. It was perfect because I signed on right as you were talking about the Daniel fast, which is how I got my start. So yeah. Pretty cool.
Me too. Yeah. Yeah.
So show us a show of hands in the chat, y'all, with these 65 people or 70 or whatever it is. How many of you have seen Chispspiracy so far? So if you are willing to raise your hand, put your hand up in the chat. And we'll see because, and how many of you are going to watch it tomorrow and tell your friends, because you can promote it out and let other people join in and they can join in for free, which is really cool because it's not out in the public yet. Far and wide. It was on a short run in the theater for 2 days. One being whatever the date was, the 20th of March. And then it was like Easter or it was Passover. What was it? Was it a very special day that it came out on
Palm Sunday. Yeah, Palm Sunday.
Palm Sunday.
Yeah, it looks like there's people that have seen it 3 times or so in the comments. That's awesome.
Yeah, I've seen it a couple of times now too.
Yeah, it's always better the second or third time because there's a lot in there, so you catch more the second time.
That's absolutely true.
That's true.
Yeah, I can attest to that.
And
So you miss it. You miss good points. Like you're so caught up, you get so emotional that you kind of miss some of it, right? And then when I saw it the second time, I was like, okay. So that you kind of get ready for it, and then you get able to absorb that information. Because if you come from like a Christian or religion base, this blows your mind, and you got to really probably watch it a couple of times to really just like really absorb all of it, because all these stories that you were told are not what you think.
Right.
Just like eating animals that's not what we think. And so it's like being educated or re-educated, or what's the word? You're indoctrinated with religion, and now you get to see things in a different light.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about, Kim, right?
I know exactly. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I was raised, with some of that indoctrination, which to everybody's defense, like in my family or anyone else, I don't think they knew any better either, because this is stuff that's been tradition for so long that people don't know any better. But yeah, the Daniel fast specifically, and then subsequent study after that, based off of how I was feeling and some of the revelations that were coming through, I realized that this part of my life that I held so dear, my spiritual practice, had this whole other layer to it. And it's definitely, made my life 10 times better, I think, in my connection, my faith, my health. It's just been a massive upgrade for sure.
For sure.
I didn't know how I was going to share this, and it literally dropped into my heart. And I thought, because it really was for real for me, in that I shared with my brother, and I said, I fell in love more with Jesus Christ, the person, the man, from this film. And so he got himself his butt in the seat with 10 other people, because it was a very small theater in Tennessee, or the theater in Tennessee. It was, it was a Sunday afternoon on a holiday. For Christians, that was a big deal that day, I think, So anyway, Palm Sunday. So he went, and he wants to watch it 5 more times. I think I told you that. And he also said there were so many layers to the film of coming from the born again Christian that he is 10 plus years, that that for him it was these truths that were taught to him that were blown up in a sense of like, wait, really? And so he wants more. So I hope he joins tomorrow. I hope he gets to have that chance, or at some point connect with you. But here's my question for you, because I know there's another something coming in about 3 minutes. Anita Krines, Plant-Based Ready. My question to you is, what's happened since you did the Los Angeles screening? I cannot even keep up. I just keep seeing there's like articles coming out and interviews and things. And then I dropped in real quick into something. You were having this amazing debate or conversation with like theologians or something. Take us through what's been going on since the screening and the film. That was there's been different opportunities. I actually did another debate besides the one you're talking about, with a theologian, or maybe the one you're talking about. It hasn't aired yet though, but there's a guy called the Reverend Hunter that I did a debate with, and he uses theology to support his hunting and everything, and so we kind of had some back and forth. But right now we're just really geared towards our digital release and finding them. We've been building a platform so that we can make it as accessible to everyone as possible. And so I know there's a lot of people that are just like itching to see the film, and we get messages all the time. When's it going to happen? It should have already happened, but we're working on it every day. So that's happening, and there's really cool stuff in the works for potentialities around a tour across America, maybe some other countries as well, where we'll show up and do some screenings in person. I'm going to go do some kind of activism stuff across America in a few places to promote some really exciting things in the works. So we're just getting started. I really see this as a film that's going to be, over time, it's going to peak in conversation, especially I think just around holidays and all of these things. There's so many relevant pieces that, it'll have a life of its own, and different moments that through the next, years we'll be discussing it. And then future films to come, we're already talking about that too. And you said tag your it at the end. So how can we support you? Those of us that are, there's a lot of leaders in here in the vegan space. There are a lot of leaders who are into animal liberation in the space. So how can we support you going forward? Like that.
Yeah, I mean, the number one thing is when we go live digitally, just telling everyone about it and sharing it. We'll even have some mechanisms built into the platform that we launch. We're launching on our own platform first because, again, we want to keep it as accessible to everyone as possible. Plus, we, censorship, these other kinds of things. We've even been dealing with it on the Meta apps, Netflix, Instagram and all that. Certain things, if you push it just shadow banning, all this stuff. So to get around that, we're going to build our own platform, and then we're going to go to every other platform as well over time, so that it's accessible everywhere. But when we launch on our platform, we just want everyone to share it massively. And if you really want to go really deep and be a part of the community, there's a platform that we have called School, SKOOL.com. They're kind of like an educational social media. And so there's a Chispspiracy community in the school. It's really like a robust Facebook group, kind of is what it's like. But it's got a lot more bells and whistles with education and all of this. So we're going deeper there and talking about, the subjects that we couldn't fully scope out in the film. We're getting into the nitty gritty there.
I think
I
it's
can
also,
tell you it's sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say one thing. I think one thing that left me is not a religious bashing film. It's not.
No, it's not.
So just
not.
saying that, it's just clarifying a lot of things. So that's,
Yeah, I'm still a Christ follower, so I wouldn't make a religious bashing
come
film.
on, me too. Right.
I have people ask me that and I'm like, no, it's not.
No,
But it
it's not.
is in a short span of time, you see what for me personally was a, probably 10-year journey, give or take, where there were moments because of especially getting into the ethical piece of what happens to animals in the industry, and then also seeing a conflicting narrative with my own faith and the way people kind of will use scriptures and certain things to justify that. And it kind of made me pull back from it for a certain time. But then as you see in the film, it all comes full circle to where I'm just closer in my faith than I ever have been, but with new eyes and greater expanded compassion. And I think we cover all faiths, all the major faiths in the documentary as well. So, I feel the same way. We show how ultimately at the core of all faiths, there's this compassionate thread that, is there if you look hard enough for it.
I agree with that too. And I think with that movie, it would give you the ability to expand, like you said, expand your compassion. Because if we're supposed to love is like the most powerful thing. We can't just pick our love for one being. It has to be for everything that's on this planet, as that's where our love is supposed to be. And Christ says, you love yourself as you love your neighbor, right? So and every other being on the planet. That's what people,
right.
We can't pick and choose how we share our love like that, especially being in this space. The compassion
Right.
is everything. Yeah.
Well, I didn't mean to disrupt this thing. It was
This is wonderful. Thank you so much, Ken.